What's going on, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Half Table Show. We had to pull up a chair to the table today. We got Space Cowboy Media right here in full effect, live. Space Cowboy, how have you been? It's been a long time since any of us had anything to do, all three of us had anything to do with some type of round table show, half table show. It doesn't matter. It's been a long time since all three of us been in one spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time. I've been fantastic, just, getting a new job and everything started, trying to do my thing over on my little channel and stuff like that. But I'm glad to be linking up with you guys once again. Bit overdue, so.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about as the Dallas Cowboys in 3 hours take on the Los Angeles Chargers for the second preseason game. We're almost there to Tampa Bay. They did cut five players this week. They had to get from 90 to 85. And they did some joint practice work. Leighton Vander Esch had an interception. Dennis Houston had a Hail Mary catch. So anybody to use space in fifth quarter, I'll get right to you in just a second. Anybody to use space coming in here unexpectedly making some noise. I know it's hard to evaluate, but what's your take? Whose stock is rising?
I think one guy that I'm really liking is Deron Bland, mainly because of the fact that he's been making a lot of plays. It's one thing when someone does stuff in the practices, but it's another thing when you do it in the practices and you do it on the football field, which Deron Bland has been doing. Houston, I need to see a little bit more, but I don't think it's his fault nor any of the receivers' fault. You've had really bad quarterback play, so I can't really evaluate what exactly is going on here. I'm trying to think. That's pretty much it. I mean, I kind of take the practices a little bit with a grain of salt, because if he goes out on the football field and he does just A-okay, I'm okay with that. That tells me something. But he definitely has a way of getting onto the roster because Gallup's out, Washington is out, and I don't think T.J. Vasher. I know he was a big preseason favorite for many people. I don't see him making the roster at this point because you're seeing Houston making all these plays. Unless Vasher makes a push, I don't see it. But that's where I stand right now. I think Bland and Houston have been making the most plays.
No, I love those two names. Definitely, I've been talking about Deron Bland of Fresno State since he got drafted, and then Dennis Houston is a guy that I was didn't know a lot about until he started making plays, and I had to dip into the undrafted free agent Dennis Houston and then give him some credit there. Fifth quarter Cowboys, what's your take and how you been?
I don't know if y'all can hear me. The weather bad down here, so I don't know how good my service is right now.
We hear you just fine, brother.
Salute to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Jacob, Johnny, Cowboys channel. What's up, brother? Woody Mack, my dog. That's a long time subscriber right there, man. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. Cowboys channel, we go way back too. I'm really not to be honest with you, man. It's kind of like one of those situations to where you're in a room with a bunch of pretty girls, but they all hoes. Even with all the good talent we got, all the new guys coming in, man, it's hard to get excited about it because of who our coaches are, man. It's hard to expect anything different than what we've been seeing, like Space Cowboy said, number 30, he Bland, he's been stepping up. Houston, defensive side of the ball, Vander Esch standing out. I guess he they ain't pick up that 5th-year option. They just re-signed him, so I guess he playing with a purpose now. I'm always excited about defense because I'm a defensive guy, but just on the offensive side of the ball, man, it's just hard to get even with guys like Turpin or whatever. A disappointment, I would say, has been the Tolbert, the receiver, man. It just, I don't know, man. Everybody bragged on him, and it just seemed like the lights might have been too bright for him in that preseason game. But I hope Diggs have a solid year. I don't expect people to maintain the level of excellence that they might have showed the previous year. I don't expect him to match that number. I mean, if you do, fine. If you do better, fine. But I just want him to have a good solid. I just want him to be a solid cornerback. You know what I'm saying? I just want him to be a good, solid cornerback, cover guy. You know, when you got a chance to get an INT or think there's one, get it. But he didn't have a really good camp for me. Him or Anthony Brown. You saw 1-2 things from Anthony Brown, but I don't think neither guy had a really good camp, honestly. And that doesn't mean that Diggs won't show up during the season, but he just didn't have a really good camp against his own guys. And you got to think, well, shit, you're gonna be playing receivers. You're gonna be on the opposite side of receivers that's better than every receiver on your team. So that right there kind of had me like, oh man, a little panicky. But offensively, man, I don't know. I'm not excited about nothing. I'm not trying to be a downer or make anybody, kill anybody's spirit, but I'm just not excited about nothing on the offensive side of the ball. Every year for the offense is just I watch it and then I get excited when they do something good, and I just hope for the best when it comes to the offense because Shelley Moore, Mike McCarthy. One game Dak could give you 350 yards, and the next game he'll give you 105, 110, 120 yards. Zeke has been on the downside every year. Even last year when he was in the shape he was in, blah, blah, blah. Tyron Smith, I don't know if y'all can hear that. Tyron Smith every year, we know he's going to miss 3 or 4 games. It's going to hurt us offensively when Tyron is out. The offensive line isn't really strong as it used to be. Our center ain't. I mean, it's just so much to that I just try to process. When I try to find a positive, like even with adding guys, the Houston guy, and it's just the Turpin is just like, well, what are they gonna do with him? We know what they're gonna do.
Stuff. That's what they're gonna do.
Dallas Cowboy fan 1980. What's up, bro? You know what they're gonna do with him. So, like for me, I just look forward to the defense getting takeaways. I get excited for takeaways. I get excited for that type of stuff, man. I get excited knowing that our defense can be top 5. I like when we score touchdowns defensively. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is. Cowboys corner here. You get more hype when we playing Madden when you score a touchdown with your defense. Like if you get a pick 6, you're more hype about that than actually scoring with CD or Coop because it means more. You know what I'm saying? Getting the interception on that side of the ball or takeaway on that side of the ball.
Put it in the alley.
Means a lot more. So for me, training camp, it was just like it was regular. I didn't see anything exciting. The offseason just wasn't exciting. The offense it just doesn't. Like Tyrone Church said, it's scary. It scares me too. I don't know. I'm just looking forward to what the defense gonna do and hope they can carry this offense. And I really hope Prescott has found something with CD. Finally, I really hope he has found something with CD because you gotta have that connection, man. It's in training camp. I just hope it translates to the regular season. And I do think he needs a veteran on the other side of him. So that's how I feel about training camp and offseason and everything overall.
Absolutely. So fifth quarter, and I was having a conversation the other day, and I told fifth quarter, I said, I got a theory. I said, the moment they signed Dak Prescott to that long-term deal, they hated it. They talked about it. They overpaid him. They trade away Amari Cooper. Now they're going to this wide receiver by committee approach, right? So they got all this set in stone I really think for Dak Prescott to fail so he don't get a bigger third contract. I really think that's what they're doing here because Stephen Jones said it this offseason, when you got a franchise quarterback getting paid like a franchise quarterback, that takes a lot of the pie. Space Cowboy is my theory on the track of that. I can see that, or is it something else?
No, you definitely excuse me. No, there definitely is some traction to that. Stephen Jones did not want to give Dak Prescott the money. And for those that don't know about Stephen Jones's dealings with Cowboys players, he runs the Cowboys. I understand Jerry's there and everything, but we got to remember that Stephen is the main captain of the ship at this point. He is your general manager. I don't care what anybody else says. He's the guy giving out the contracts. You kind of saw how things have gone over the last couple of seasons, and you can even pull up the last decade. A lot of it feels like it's corporate run. Like, we don't give out contracts. to free agents because they haven't done anything with the team. However, if you've done something with the Cowboys, by all means, we'll get you a big contract and stuff like that. But then here comes the problem, and we've seen this happen with multiple players: D-Law, Zeke, Dak, especially Zeke. Like, and regardless of how you feel on those players, right? The main factor of it is that they wait so long to pay these guys that they want to keep that they put themselves in a situation where it's like, well, if you had just paid Dak Prescott earlier, or if you had paid Lawrence earlier because you wanted these guys anyway, rather than trying to pull a fast one, now you're paying way more than you should have. And that's what's really screwing your team over. And then you have these situations like this year is the prime example. He talks about, well, the quarterback is taking up all this cap space, so we can't do anything. So it gives them that excuse of we don't have to do anything in free agency. Then you're like, oh, we got to get rid of Amari Cooper. We got to get rid of Lyle Collins. Listen, you could have kept these guys if you wanted to. There was nothing preventing you. I don't care. Like, cap space. No, like you can manipulate the cap to however you want it. I personally believe it's one of two things. One, they want to have Dan Quinn as the next head coach. McCarthy is just, I've always felt, what's up?
Oh no, I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, okay, got you. I just want to make sure. I always felt like ever since that playoff game, or rather when McCarthy came here, I would say like it didn't really feel like something. Like I liked McCarthy because he was the best option you had if you wanted someone that was a veteran coach. Like, okay, I get it. But when Dan Quinn came here and you're hearing what Jerry's saying, it's like, okay, so you're trying to set up your coach to fail, number one. Number two, you're trying to set up your quarterback to fail because not only are you getting rid of weapons, you have an offensive coordinator who went out and said it last year, I don't like it when I give too many targets to one player, which is the exact opposite for what you should be doing. You look at the team that beat us in the playoffs, the 49ers, McDaniel and Shanahan, they're like, we need to get the ball to our playmakers, which is what every team should be doing. We don't do that because Stephen Jones has also manipulated his father to believing that the cap is the only way to build this team. You mean to tell me that, when CD is going to be up for a contract extension, you're going to try and lowball him and then he walks in free agency because you're not going to pay him? I understand you couldn't pay him or you can't because he's not in his third year. Well, he's after his third year, you can pay him. That I remember. But to kind of just wrap this up, it feels like the Cowboys are purposely trying to fail because they felt like we care about having cap space more than actually putting out a winning product. Now, what's going to really throw a wrench in this is that if you have a year where Dak Prescott does well and the Cowboys win, you're going to have a hard time spinning this like, oh, we got to get rid of Mike McCarthy. Like, let's say you go, I don't think they're going to go 12-5 again, but let's say you go 12-5 again, right? If you go 12-5 again, Dak Prescott throws 35-plus touchdowns, has another good year, and maybe you win a playoff game. I really feel like they're trying to pull a fast one, and this is not healthy for any team.
So, Space Cowboy, let me ask you this.
Sure.
You think, and it's a man, it's good logic, man. So you think that they would purposely manipulate someone's numbers, which would dictate what their contract could be, so they won't have to give them such a big pay?
What do you think happened with Amari last year?
Wow, I never think about that.
Listen,
I never think about.
There were two reasons why the Cowboys got rid of Amari Cooper: his vaccination status, and on top of that, the Joneses, more specifically Steven, didn't like the fact that they gave him that money. Which, by the way, they nearly fucked themselves over because Washington could have signed him for more money. That is a huge problem. The Cowboys have been doing this for years. And it's funny because people didn't recognize this. Like, why do you think they didn't do anything in 2018? Like, I came to this realization because I was having some conversations with people. And it's like, why do you think they let go of Dez? Why do you think they tried to set up Dak to fail in 2018? and then they got backed into a corner. I try not to be a conspiracy theorist, but it's literally right there. It's on the table for you to see it.
I
The
think they're
Coop
doing
thing
this
makes
a little bit.
my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's a good topic. The Coop thing, man, you got me thinking. I ain't never thought about that. Go ahead, Cowboys fan.
You got to think about this, man. What if, and I don't know what he's doing in Arkansas, what if they're trying to get Stephen Jones' son to come in here and quarterback the Cowboys?
It's definitely on the table.
I have no idea what he's doing over there in Arkansas, but
I mean, like somebody just said in the in the comments, they didn't even try to restructure Coop or nothing.
and the Browns did.
Yeah.
And the Browns
That
did.
is crazy to me. That is crazy to me. I never thought about that, man.
The reason they didn't want to restructure his deal was because they didn't want him anymore. Because now listen, with them drafting CD, you kind of had the writing on the wall that either Gallup or him was leaving. They weren't going to keep all three of these guys. But like the way the season went, I'm kind of like, okay, well, you had a team which defensively literally could have carried you.
Yeah.
But offensively, my biggest issue is, and it's one thing with the play, like I feel like you had the personnel to do something, right? And I don't want to go on a tangent, but just kind of to understand what the Cowboys did. You had a period of 7 weeks where the Cowboys looked like the best offense in football. Dak Prescott was playing at a legitimate MVP caliber, like throwing 3 touchdowns a game, except for one, which was the Chargers game, and we won that game. You had Zeke and Pollard being in the top 10 of rushing. Your offensive line was playing fine. Then Dak gets hurt. That calf injury was a lot worse than it was, so they rush him back. And then you turn into this just stale as hell offense because you can't run your quarterback out there. Now, luckily, we haven't had any setbacks, knock on wood. But my biggest issue is they got away with what made them successful. And it really felt like they didn't try. And then if anything told you, that Arizona game was the coup de grace of the season because it was kind of like, okay, this team just doesn't look like it. And so you had a season where it's like, me personally going to the offseason, I felt as if you had a team that if you just keep what you got a little bit more, cool. You got yourself a legitimate contender, but now you're kind of banking on your defense, which that's not a problem with me. I don't have a problem with the different type of philosophy, but that's the issue is that you need your offense to put up points, and you purposely got worse on offense. Now you're having a situation where I don't believe this, but like you're having Connor McGovern getting more snaps at left guard than your freaking first-round pick.
That's Joe Philbin.
Which is Joe Philbin because he didn't want to pick him to begin with. But this is kind of like this feels like 2018 all over again. You better hope to God this defense holds it together.
Cowboys corner said that too. He said that a while ago when we realized what our receiving core was going to be this year. Cowboys corner said, "Man, it's 2018 all over again."
Mm-hmm.
He sure as hell said it. He sure as hell said that. Man, you got me tripping over the money thing. Man, that makes so much sense. Man, I never thought about that, man. Let me ask you this, Space Cowboy.
Sure.
I've been going back with y'all years about this topic.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Cowboys corner always disagree.
Okay.
Tyron Smith.
Yeah, what about him?
Is it time?
Well, you drafted Tyler Smith, and from what I'm hearing, like it really feels as if, like kind of putting the context clues together, they want Tyler Smith to replace Tyron Smith. It really feels like what I think will probably happen is Tyron will get hurt, and then they will put Tyler out at left tackle, and your left guard. Like with Matt Waletzko getting hurt, it kind of throws a wrench in this because I thought like, okay, they'll put Matt Waletzko at left tackle. But it's hard for me to say because of how they did his contract. It's really hard to be like, okay, let's kick him to the curbside because you're not going to get as much cap savings with that. And also, the big thing with it too is that this offensive line is in such a weird because you still got to figure out what you're going to do at right tackle. Like, what are you going to do with Terrence Steele? You're going to pay him? So you still don't know what's going on with right tackle. Zach Martin, okay, he's there, but he's getting older. You don't know what the hell you're doing at center. I don't care what anybody says. Tyler Biotish is one of the biggest reasons your offensive line was struggling last year. Hence why Connor Williams was getting a lot of holding calls. You can go back and look. Now Connor Williams is gone, so I like Tyler Smith. I think that if you play him at guard, you can mask a lot of the deficiencies he had at Tulsa. Because the problem was in Tulsa, a lot of people talk about his penalties. His penalties were technique-based. It had nothing to do with the fact that, like, he was just playing guard shittily or something like that. It was just the fact that he was playing tackle and he just didn't understand technique. So the Cowboys are like, okay, let's take this guy. We could plug him in at guard, but maybe we want to put him in. It's just a mess because I personally believe you still don't have the successor to Tyron Smith at left tackle yet. I just don't believe that. And I think that if you wanted to do that, you should have maybe gone with a different player. But I'm more concerned about the right tackle spot, actually, long term.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I will tell you this. Sure, we are expecting an injury, but you know what? At least we have backup players that you can go there, but you still need a veteran swing tackle. I'm not going to lie there. But my biggest issue is you decided to let go of Lyell. You have not paid Terrence Steele yet, which you should. It's not like you can't pay him now. You should pay him. You have to pay him. Because if let's say he goes somewhere else, now you're screwed. You just screwed up your whole offensive line because you felt like you can play this whole rope-a-dope.
Not necessarily. Because I don't think you should pay Terrence Steele until what he does this year.
I agree. I agree, but my main thing is that what I don't want to have happen is a 2019 where I got to double check if he's a restricted free agent or not because I think he could be. But the one thing I'm worried about is he hits the open market or they'll tag him and then he'll hit the open market and then you're kind of just like, well, what do we got to do? I don't mind like waiting to pay him. I don't because we got one really shitty year, one solid year. Now you're like, okay, what do we got? Because now we're hearing he's not doing well in camp, which again, I'm not taking camp for granted, but even in the live game settings, it was just like this. I don't know. I'm just worried because the last thing we need to do is get your quarterback hurt and you ruin your season on purpose.
No, absolutely. And then let's talk about these penalties because I really feel like culture. I really feel like errors. If you don't get errors fixed, they're contagious. It's like an incident happening in the workplace, right? You got a little trip and fall here. You got somebody slipping on a box there. And if that supervisor don't correct it, next thing you know, someone's going to get stabbed in the foot by a forklift. I've seen it. I worked at Tyson's in Texas before. Little accidents add up to bigger incidences, right? And so penalties to me work the same way. You look at that 49ers game last year, then you look at this preseason game. They literally picked up right where they left off. 18 penalties in one preseason game. How is that even possible? Is that I'm looking for, if we have leaders on this football team, and I'm calling out Dak Prescott, I'm calling out Tank Lawrence, I'm calling out Jerron Kearse, who has a lot of very veteran experience in the National Football League. They need to get these young guys in here, and it's not even the young guys. Terrell Basham had a penalty. Dante Fowler had a penalty, which he just got signed for, right? I'm looking for these guys, the staples of this football team, as Jerry Jones like to call it, the top 10% of the salary cap. I'm looking for these guys to say, cut that crap out. That don't belong here. I'm looking for that. Like, if you want to make penalties, you can go sit on the bench. Mike McCarthy, hold these guys accountable. Where is the passion? Fifth quarter, I'll let you go first. Is these penalties a major concern?
Yeah.
Because let me rephrase my question. Is these penalties concerning even if it's a preseason game?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is more disturbing coming off of the playoff game we had. It was embarrassing. The penalties in that game was embarrassing. The penalties all last season was embarrassing, but especially that game. So you would think, right? You know how things are when you go on a diet. When you get over where you go on a diet, I'm gonna get my stuff together. You be on that diet for a little while, but then you fall off that wagon. the Cowboys didn't even get on the diet. Like by starting off the preseason right. They didn't even look like we even corrected it a little bit. Because sometimes you correct it, but then down the line you're like, oh, there go that old look again. Down the line the penalties will start coming back. So you normally see at the beginning of the season, things look a little better because they instilled it in these guys' head all training camp, all season, whatever. OTA, man, we looked like shit. The San Fran game, that wasn't acceptable, blah, 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 blah. You would think that they would really push the envelope on that and come out in the preseason. We like, okay, man, we did good. They cleaned up the holding penalties. We didn't even start to dive. We picked up right where we left off. Pizza, Doritos, Pepsi, everything, man, right where we left off at. Like, so it just blew my mind coming off that game, getting off that scale, seeing over 300 pounds, and going straight to the refrigerator and grabbing some more ice cream instead of cleaning up those damn penalties and make it even look like y'all tried. And I'm not even talking about the players. And yes, they fought, but I'm talking about the coaches. Man, this is the environment that they keep over there, man. Like the mentality that they have, like they lack discipline, man. They don't listen to them coaches. That is the main thing that can suck the energy out of an offense when it's third down and you need 7 yards, but you break for one and you get 25 and get called back because of a holding penalty or something. The energy is gone. Or 4th and 3 and you go for it, you get it, but you get a holding pass. Now it's 4th and 9. I mean, it's 4th and 8 or whatever. Now you got to punt it.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely.
It just wipes the energy away. And if it starts with coaching, man, how could you come out in a preseason game? Man, listen, to guys, new guys, not even the guys that got the penalties last year. Not even them. New guys. So you can train their mind off rip to not do it.
It's contagious.
You can train them. They say if you never drove, they say if you go to get your CDL, if you become a truck driver, they're like if you never drove 5-speed, that's great. So you don't bring old habits because you'll try to shift 18 with like a 5-speed. So they prefer you not to never drove one, period. So you got all new guys where you can literally mold them into that. Not these guys that have been in the league already that don't not these guys that have been in the league already that are used to like holding and grabbing and getting these penalties. Young guys where you can really instill you got these young, okay, you can't go and deal off face and screen. He a veteran, he's not gonna take that. But these young guys, you can go to these young guys, hey, listen, man, listen. We're not having that shit. D-Law, Tyron Smith, all these guys, the offensive line, man, it's for the Tyler Smith holder in training camp. The offensive line, go to them. The offensive line coach, go to them. Hey, look, let me show you this footage of what we did last year. Let me show you how we got fucked up in a lot of games because of lack of discipline and lack of our coaches showing y'all what we're supposed to do. We're going to correct that shit this year. And nothing happened. Preseason, Mike McCarthy said, it's preseason. What? What? What does that mean? That's why it's worse. Because you're not even showing us signs of it early. You picked up right where you left off at. And you brushed it off. As the head coach, you brushed it off. They don't listen to him. The man said in the San Fran, after the game, he saw some of his players look scared. Man, get this man out of here, man. It's a big deal, bro. Because right in the moment where Dak makes a good play to CD or Dalton Schultz, watch what's going to happen. Watch what's going to happen, go. Watch what's happening, dog. That's what I got to say about it. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let you bring the GOAT up in here, man. Let him speak his mind, brother.
Well, before the GOAT gets introduced, we all know who 1980 is. 1980 brought a fire comment in here. That's a great topic. Don't make me have to go down there and bring the old round table back. I know Space Cowboy is supposed to be us, but it's only right that
it's only fair.
It's only right that this is the half table right here. We can care less about the other channel that was part of it. Who are they? This is the round table right here. And I'm live. Y'all can go tag them, tweet them, beat them, slip them, flip them. I don't give a fuck. This is the round table right here. Space Cowboy 17 or Cowboy Media. What is your take on the penalties before we get 1980?
Well, first off, glad to have 1980 joining us. This is an awesome turn of events. But so I always say this: a team is built from the top down. That goes from your owner, your general manager, your coaching staff to your players, right? So kind of going back to the analogy of like us being a supervisor and stuff like that. Like if someone fucks up at their job, right? Unfortunately, like sure, being a good employee, yeah, I would go the extra mile to help that person out. But Is it my full-on responsibility? No, it's the supervisor's responsibility to make sure that person, like, sure, if it's a one-off mistake, okay, but if they're having continuous problems, that's the supervisor's responsibility to fix that shit, right? So kind of going back to a tweet that I put out. So I had a tweet where I think it was, where was it? I just pulled up. Okay. So Law Nation put out a tweet saying, oh, the Cowboys have been the most penalized team since 1996, whatever the fuck, right? And I was like, well, I understand that the Cowboys have this extra, like, allure to them where they get more penalties sometimes. I get it. But I wanted to take a look to be like, okay, like, what exactly is going on here? Is this, like, actually, like, the team is consistently getting penalized, or is this, like, a team-by-team, like, coach-by-coach, I mean? So, going through each of these coaches, right? So, yeah, Chan Gailey for 2 years. The Cowboys ranked second most in penalties. Dave Campo, 3 years, 13th in penalties. Bill Parcells, in my opinion, the best coach the Cowboys have had since Jimmy Johnson left. 4 years, 25th. Okay? So 25th. So finally we're getting somewhere. Wade Phillips, 3.5 years, third most penalties. Jason Garrett, 9.5, 12th. And then you have Mike McCarthy going on 3, first. So it is a coach thing. I get the whole, I do believe the Cowboys are like a corporate culture thing too. That also plays into it because think about it. You got the star, you got the big ass stadium in Texas. You know, you have all this stuff that you kind of have to like, it's like with, I'm trying to find a way to word it. It's like the Lakers or it's like the Yankees or something like that. Like there's big brand to it. You have that shit up. So it's like you need to make sure you have these personalities under control because if you let it run rampant, now you're just going to have this team that's just like, okay, we win playoff games. We win games. We are at least competitive, but like you aren't taking that extra step. And I feel as if Mike McCarthy, you went out, got NFL referees to come in here and help figure out how to stop penalties, okay? And you had 9 in the first, like, sure, you had 18. Like, think about this, though. If people want to be like, it's just a preseason game, you had 9 in the first half where a good chunk of your starters are playing. Or, you know what I mean, backups more so, / starters. That's a problem. That's a massive problem. And so if you don't have, like, if you're Stephen Jones who doesn't care, and you're like, so let's say you're like the store manager and you find out that your freaking supervisor isn't doing their job to make sure the store is run properly. You can't just sit there and be like, oh, everything's A-okay, you're doing a fine job. Because you know what that does? It leads to complacency. It leads to exactly what you got right now. That is why it is more so a coaching thing, which it wasn't like we're talking about Mike McCarthy, the big Yinzer fella that comes out of PA, be like, oh, everything we do is going to be about winning, which, all right, that's a nice philosophy, but gotta clean that up, Mike, because you are not as liked as Garrett was. Just saying. So he's already waiting.
Jason Garrett, though, was a puppet on the microphone. He never gave away my players were nervous on the podium.
That is something that's even worse. You mean to tell me you go out there, like, it's one thing when, like, you're like, guys, what the hell are we doing? Like, behind closed doors. When you go out after that debacle of a playoff game and you go out and say your players were nervous and got punched in the mouth, bro, that's not it, man. And I hate to say that because I never liked Jason Garrett, and I know he was what he was, but the fact that we're actually having discussion, not me, but people on Twitter are having discussions, who's a more disciplined or more you know what the word I'm looking for, the more disciplined coach, Garrett, or that's not good, man. You came in here to be better. You won a Super Bowl. You won all these division titles, and this is a problem. And now you're going to have this, like, debacle of a season where now you're going to bring in a new head coach. Like, you got to fix this shit, Mike. You got to, you got to.
He does. Dallas Cowboy fan 1980 in the building. The power, my lights flickered when I let him on the show. I don't know about y'all, but my lights flickered.
Yeah, it started storming down here.
The power man himself is in the building. Everybody put the 100 emoji in the comment section for Dallas Cowboy Fan 1980 and Space Cowboy 17. Two guests on the Half Table Show. This ain't the Half Table Show today. This is the round table right here.
Wow. I get my energy from you guys. That's where I get my power. From fifth quarter, space, and corner. When I see y'all, I get this electricity just comes out of nowhere. I don't know what happens to me. But I enjoy watching you guys. That's why I wanted to come on. I love this topic. This topic needs to be discussed. It needs to be. We're still in the I think season, and I've enjoyed and I hate to say this. Since I've been a Cowboy fan for 40 years, and I've enjoyed. I've enjoyed. I've enjoyed the off season, not having to worry. See now I'm letting, like I said last season, the Cowboys are like that old girlfriend that you keep letting back. She keep cheating on you. But you still let her back in the door. She sweet talk you a little bit, and she pull up her skirt and she wear heels and stuff like that and start showing her cleavage, and you're like, oh man, that looks good. Oh, I gotta have that. You get what I'm saying? They that old girlfriend you just keep letting in. That's all it is. And I heard you guys. I love this topic. I heard you guys bring up. It starts from the top and to the bottom. So like Space Cowboy just said, and which is 100% true. I agree. That's where it starts. It's the culture is different. It's not. It's maybe not even want to make a lot of videos anymore. Like I'll say, oh, I'm going to make a video, but there's really nothing for me to talk about, especially in the I think season, because we never know what's going to happen. We never know how these new rookies and guys are going to turn out. And, practice is what it is. You're going to see good things. You're going to see bad things. It doesn't count. It doesn't matter. I think the fan base, I think you guys left out. I think the fan base has a lot to do with their failure as well.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it again.
You're right.
I think the fan base has a lot to do with the Dallas Cowboys' demise since '95, along with Jerry Jones and all that bullshit, front office bullshit. But as a culture, I think the fan base, being America's team and all that shit, and being the richest team in sports, richest franchise in sports, period, better than the Lakers, better than the Yankees, like Space Cowboy brought up, and as a fan base, I think we failed. Because, like I always say, I'm a broken record man. When the Dallas Cowboys didn't perform in the 70s and the 80s, well, they were on top in the 70s. But in the 80s, when the Dallas Cowboys were just boo-boo, there were years where they just, weren't even on the map pretty much. The fans, they like, okay, we're not going to support this. We're just going to stop going to games. And let's see how y'all do then. Because in order for you to drive your car to work every day, that car has to work. You have to turn that key, and that car has to work for you to get you back and forth to work, to get you back and forth to pick up your kids from school, daycare, the doctor, dentist appointments, whatever. That car has to work. If that car is not working, guess what? You got to call in. You got to make up all these excuses on why you're not going to work and why you can't pick up your kids and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? That's where I'm going with this. I have to go that way with this, man, because a lot of Cowboy fans don't understand. Even the ones on YouTube, guys, they so far gone. They just like Jerry Jones now. They just like him. They don't even realize it. They don't even realize it, dog. They feeding into all that bullshit. They getting checks from YouTube, and it's helping out their family and all that stuff, which is understandable. Do your thing. But it's gotten to their heads to a point to where everybody's fighting amongst each other and all this stuff because we've been losing for so long. It's been a losing organization for so long. We don't deserve to be the richest team in sports, period. We don't deserve to be America's team. We don't deserve it. I made a video. I made a little highlight reel of Nashawn's Right highlights of last week's game. I didn't say nothing. I didn't do nothing. All I did was put a bunch of. I didn't say if it was good or bad. My voice wasn't even on the video. And some clown come in the comment section and say, "Oh, you need to calm down. You need to stop. It's just preseason. You need to calm down." Calm down from what? All I did was post a highlight reel. That's it. You get what I'm saying? Didn't say a word. I haven't said anything about the Cowboys, really. I made a couple of videos here and there, but I've said the same thing. It's just preseason, guys. Don't let it get to your head. Like, I've been so calm and humble through the summer, and up until now, I'm still humble. And I'm going to go through the season kind of humble and calm. I'm not like fifth quarter say, I'm not going to put too much into this, man. I'm not going to put too much into this hype because that's where they want us, man. They winning. See, we're not winning.
No.
As fans, we're not winning. Regardless if you're going to every game, regardless if you're fighting and meeting up at the stands and all that shit, you buying jerseys, buying tickets, buying front row 50-yard tickets and all that stuff. Oh, I'm going to this game. We ain't winning, man. But Jerry Jones, they winning, though. They getting paid. They kids, grandkids, and so on and so on and so on. They rich. They gonna be okay. That's what he's turned this into. It's not football no more. They had an interview with Charles Haley, and they said, "Man, how what you think about this Cowboy defense? What you think about the Cowboy?" Charles Haley said, "I don't watch the games anymore." They said, "What? You don't watch games?" "No, I don't." He said, "Because it ain't the same game. You can't. If we played today, me, the Lawrence Taylors, the Mike Singletaries, the guys that, wouldn't no quarterback play in their 40s. Wouldn't no Tom Brady, he'd have been retired a long time ago. We would have put him on his ass so many times, he wouldn't even be able to play. But see, now you can't touch the quarterback. You can't even look at the quarterback wrong. So football is really not even football anymore. It's not what I remember. If you look at these names up here, it's not like that anymore. It's not. So what are we really cheering for? What are we tattooing? What are we tattooing and representing and throwing up gang signs and what I say, DJ, fifth quarter, doing drive-by shootings and all that stuff. What are we doing that for? Because it's not like this anymore. We got 5 rings up there. It's not like that anymore. The players, they just like the organization, man. They've been already brainwashed. So we don't even know. All we can go off of, which is respectively, guys, all we can go off of is that we all got something in common in these 4 windows right here on this round table or half table. Is we all love today. We all love football. We love football. And so we're gonna watch it. It's that old girlfriend again. Let me go back to that. It's that old girlfriend again that we letting in the door. You get what I'm saying? All they want is, as long as you paying, as long as you spending that money, that's all they care about. He's made it balanced. We don't want to get really good, but we want to get good enough to wheel a fan base in, to make them think. Oh, we got Dak Prescott. Oh, we still got Zeke. Oh, we bringing in this guy. Oh, we getting some pretty good rookies. Them rookies that are them bomb ass college highlights. You notice what happens to them? They go. They be cold as hell in college. Look at Tolbert. What happened to him? It was such a big hype with him. Tolbert's going to be the second wide receiver, and now that Gallup's out and all this stuff. You get what I'm saying? So they show all these highlights, and they reel us in with the NFL draft and all this stuff, and it's just really, really. And I'm not being negative, man. I'm being real. Like, I'm serious. If you don't like it, man, there's other channels you can watch. You can go to all them other channels, man. They can babysit your feelings and all that stuff. They'll tell you, they'll say what you want to hear. Well, Dak Prescott looked good in practice. Tyron Smith, he gonna be all right. So and so. Man, motherfucker gonna get hurt week 1. Be like, come on, man. I'm just, like I say, I love the Cowboys, dog. That's why I'm here. I'm gonna continue to do my thing. I'm gonna watch y'all and appreciate what y'all do. But it's so deeper. It's so much deeper than, what we're watching right now. What we about to watch is this late ass fucking 9 o'clock game that's about to come on. 10 o'clock for Space Cowboy. And it's just ridiculous. You get what I'm saying? So, but I don't want to talk. I done already ran my mouth too much, man. I'm sorry. Y'all know how I get, but that's my opinion on the pre. Go ahead. My fault.
Now, let me touch on that with the negative stuff because Space Cowboy and I were in the back, and he said he had a few people in his comment section talking about he's shifting to being negative and things of that sort. Listen, in my trilogy, it's God, my family, and then it's the Cowboys.
Right.
If my daughter has a report card and it has 2 F's on it, I'm not going to pat her on the back and say, you know what, Diana, Eliana, y'all did a really good job. Thank you for getting these F's. You're making me proud. You damn right I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say, what the hell is these F's? What's going on? How you doing? Well, let me see your books. Let me see your studies. Let me see your notes. I'm going to critique them in a way that I should. So I got my God, I got my Cowboy, I got my family, I got my Cowboys. My Cowboys are my top 3, right? So I'm not going to sit back and say, you know what, Cowboys, I love those 18 penalties. You know what, Cowboys, I love that you traded Amari Cooper for a 5th-round pick. You know what, Jerry, I'm really glad that you haven't done anything but win off-the-field Super Bowls for the National Football League instead of bringing a football team to your home turf back in Dallas, right? I always say it. Jerry Jones won multiple Super Bowls off the field, not on the field.
Yeah.
He has 3 on the field, but he has probably 10 off the field.
That's true.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to sugarcoat when my kids, if my kids bring a report card with an F on it, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
They even got a C. We're going to talk about it. So when
exactly.
When the Cowboys are going out there and I'm grading them and they got nothing but F's, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to keep it 100. It ain't negative. It's just how passionate we are about these Dallas Cowboys. I don't want perfection. I want improvement. And for 26 years, what have we improved on?
Right. And real quick. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Before you go, I just want to say this real quick. I just want to put emphasis on something 1980 said real quick because that shit meant something. You pointed at them jerseys behind you. You said, man, it's not like this anymore. So what the hell are we rooting for? Them 5 Super Bowls, it's not like that anymore. What the hell are we cheering for? Man, that cut deep. Like, to point at those legendary names back there and say it's not like that anymore, what the hell are we cheering for? It's like, it puts so much in perspective. It's like, damn, year after year after year, we just come in it and we hype just because we Cowboys fans. But not since the 90s have we had a lot to be proud about with this organization, man. Mm-hmm. Not just the players, just the organization. So when you point at those legendary names, bro, and you say it's not like that anymore, man, that's some real shit because it's not. It's not because back then the environment, everything was just different, man. It was just different. The discipline that the coaches back then would put on these players, from Jimmy Johnson leaving guys when they're not on the bus when they're supposed to, leaving starting players, starters. The dude leaving his top to have that type of discipline, to call into the radio and say, I'm guaranteeing a win tomorrow. Man, that's dangerous, man. But when you are who you are, you know what you can instill in your players. You know the energy you got to have to do that shit, to go out there, and that means a lot. And you're right. It's not like that no more, man. And it puts so much in perspective, brother. And, man, that's why I appreciate everybody's point of view when it comes to this type of thing, you know. So I definitely appreciated that comment. Go ahead, Space.
Go ahead, Space.
Yeah, like, it's the same thing every single year. Like, so we'll start at the end of the year. So the end of the year, something disappointing happens, whether we miss the playoffs or we make the playoffs and we have a disappointing ending, whatever the hell. We go into free agency. Oh, we got to sign these key guys. All right, let's just wait, and then we'll pay them, or we won't pay them. Then the guys go out and sign somewhere else. Now you're like, well, shit, now we got to fill these holes again. So you go out, you go get Joe Smith off the frickin' Browns practice squad, and you go get this other dude, and you're like, all right, guys, we're all done. And then you kind of like, all right, well, you still got holes. Like, you still have cap space. It's not like you can't do anything. It's like, oh, well, you know, I understand we have like $50 million in cap space, but we have a franchise quarterback or some other bullshit. And
yep.
And then we go into the draft where we're like, we have to draft this position because we didn't address it in free agency, which I hate because you should draft the best player on the goddamn board rather than being like, well, I could take a better receiver here that I could upgrade the position with, but I had to get this guard / tackle because I didn't do anything. And then you go into training camp and everyone's like, oh shit, everything's going great. I'm like, dude, we just signed 5 outside free agents, which, by the way, they cut one of them. And
Ryan No.
I know, yeah. And then we want to sign like this one guy, this guy, and I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to be hyped up about that? And then we get this hype machine going. The season comes, and then we have this up and down season, and then we're like, oh, well, what the hell happened? And it's like, because they didn't do their job. When you have Stephen Jones's dumbass coming out there being like, oh, well, at the end of the day, there's only so much pocket. Like, I don't care about that. I don't. And then I got to listen. And I don't care what anybody says about myself because, honestly, I just say how it is, and I don't give a damn because at the end of the day, I'm not here to bullshit people. I'm here to tell you like it is. And if you don't like it, I don't care. I don't put on the rose-colored glasses. I don't care anymore because I'm not buying into. I can't buy into this shit anymore. Other than, all right, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna wait and see what happens because I have friends that are even my age that are like, dude, I can't even watch this team no more and support it because they don't even give a shit about winning. Mm-mm. And when we see the team fail, I'm like, dude, like if they're not gonna give a damn about winning, why should I care? But then. That's one thing, but it's another thing when why should I sell bullshit to someone? I have no incentive to do that. It would be wrong to do that. I'm not going to sugarcoat this and be like, you know what, guys? The Joe Schmo we signed off the practice squad, he's going to turn into the next Des Bryant or some bullshit. Like I don't give a fuck about that. I don't care because why... Like, what incentive do I do to tell you about, oh, you know what, guys? It's just preseason. We don't get... Who cares? Because I know what's going to happen. We're going to go into this season. Some dumb shit's going to happen. And then people are like, I wonder what happened. You cannot tell me you signing 5 outside free agents in total for the entire free agency period.
3 weeks into free agency.
3 weeks in, and you can't sign someone. Oh, we just signed Anthony Barr, and that'll shut him up. You still need a swing tackle. You still need you could have gotten another veteran wide receiver.
Boom. There it is.
Biggest thing.
There it is.
And the biggest thing is, listen, I'm going to keep it real. I don't have a problem if you let go of certain players. If you move on from the quarterback, if you move on from the wide running back, I don't care. You know what? Fine. Do what you want to do. But the part that loses me is when you move on from the players and you don't add talent back into the team for that position. And then you're like, well, gee, I wonder how that happened. And then we have everybody acting like everything's A-okay when it's not.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. And just like when you said you move on whoever you want to move on from, but you don't refill that position. Amari Cooper, we didn't do nothing. And I'm gonna let you go 1980. But back to your analogy, 1980, when you was talking about how the preseason works. So the preseason matters because some of those guys you're looking at could possibly be a backup for a starter. So you need them to put out.
Say that again.
Like when y'all said the preseason, no matter. Yes, it does. We're evaluating guys that could possibly be out. When you see Cooper Rush playing like shit, that could be Prescott backup and Prescott go down. You see Ben DiNucci playing like shit. So that's why it matters. Don't think all these guys getting cut. Listen, this is my main vehicle I'm sitting in right now. But I also have a Nissan Sentra that I need to put out the same performance this one do as this one go down. I still need my other car to get me to the same work location that this truck get me to. So I take care of that one just like I take care of this one. I don't go get a piece of shit because if this one go down, it won't be able to do what I need my other vehicle to do what this one do. And if it can't, then I'm shit out of luck. And Space Cowboy, you made a great point. You made a great damn point about how they go in the draft and they draft on a position need basis because they fucked up in the offseason. Instead of getting the best guy on the market, they drafted a position that they fucked up at. And they do it all the time. So that's a great damn point. The Cowboys, they're so stubborn. They like homegrown talent. They like to be the one that say, I made this. I did this. That's why they will pay their guys they drafted before they pay anybody else. Because they like the homegrown talent.
They didn't
So
pay.
I just wanted to make that point. Like, if you got your backup has to be just as good as your main. My Nissan Sentra need to run just as good as this truck because it had to get me to the same places that this truck gets me to. I have to keep that car just as good as this one. I can't go and think Byron Bell can do what Tyron Smith do. I can't do that. That's something I can't do. I can't think fucking Brandon Whedon can do what Tony Romo can do, or Matt Castle can do what Tony Romo can do. I need them to run just how this engine runs. Go ahead, 1980.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like you were saying, you got Cowboy fans. They say, "Oh, y'all need to relax, and it's just preseason, and you don't know what you're talking about." And I hate when Cowboy fans overreact and stuff like that. Not once have I overreact or we've overreacted. Not once have we got on and say, "Man, God damn it, I can't believe we lost that preseason game." I mean, right? It is just preseason, but none of us have overreacted. So let's go ahead and put that out there. I've graduated from overreaction this offseason. I'm not overreacting anymore. But when you say overreacting, when you tell somebody to, hey, calm down, that person has to be a winner. Like, for example, if Mike Tyson in his prime, Mike Tyson knocked out 20 people in a row. But I've seen it. I remember seeing those fights. You get ready for a fight and you call all your friends over. My dad called all his friends over, and we eat popcorn and chicken and biscuits and shit like that. And the fight over in 5 seconds. You're like, God damn. So if Mike Tyson finally go against somebody that's up there, and Mike Tyson getting his ass whooped a little bit, and you're like, whoa, Mike Tyson, calm down. And let's regroup. You know, while he's in the corner, in between rounds, calm down. And he doesn't like to go to his left, or he doesn't like to go to his right. He's got a weak point. He leaves his ribs wide open. You know, your trainers and stuff, they watch and they know. While you're fighting that fighter, they know they're watching that fighter that you're facing, and they're picking out. They've done scouting reports and all this stuff on that fighter. So they're like, calm down. That's because Mike Tyson has been winning. The Dallas Cowboys haven't been winning shit for almost 30 years. So don't tell me to calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. I'm calm, but if we all want to make a video about something and analyze or do this, that's how everybody's grown on this panel. Everybody's grown. Everybody is grown. I'm just gonna put that out there too. But telling somebody to calm down, all that stuff, like we've been winning. Oh, calm down, 1980. Don't worry about it. We'll get back up. Get back up from what? We ain't never been back. We ain't never been up. Oh, well, we went to the playoffs in 2016. I don't give a damn. That ain't winning. That's not winning. Winning is hoisting that Lombardi trophy up and adding to the 5.
They didn't win it all.
And adding to the 5 that we have. That's when you tell somebody to calm down and relax. When you've been winning, when your culture is about winning. If your culture is about winning, our culture isn't about winning anymore. It's about sales. It's about money and sales and getting people in that stadium, filling up them seats. And our fan base, they so dumb and stupid. They don't even see that. They just, we're going to the Cowboy game. I'm going to represent, dog. Go Cowboys, go Cowboys. Which is fine to a certain extent. But you ever heard of tough love? You ever heard of tough love? There was a coach I had in high school named Coach Johnson. He was our defensive coordinator. He was never happy. I used to get interceptions. I used to cause fumbles. They used to send me on quarterback sneaks. And I would get in there and try to wreak havoc with my little ass trying to sack a quarterback. And but I was fast. You get what I'm saying? So I could get in there. I used to get, and I would go to him, and he'd be like, "Good job." I'd be like, "Damn, that's it." He was never happy. He never smiled. He was a tough, hard-nosed, old-school coach. But you know what? I'm glad he was like that because it made me work even harder and harder to try to earn his trust, earn his love for my skills. You get what I'm saying? See, now in the NFL, you got all these 65 players that are getting paid right off the bat without winning a damn thing. Ain't no player on the Cowboys roster or even coaching got a Super Bowl or been close. You get what I'm saying? But they get Dak Prescott, they getting the Zeke, they holding out, they getting all this money. For what? You ain't won nothing yet. They don't have to earn anything anymore. Like I said earlier, they've already won. They don't have, who needs a Super Bowl? We've already won. We already got our billions. We already got players that make over a certain $1 million. We already up there. We got our Dak, we got our Zeke, we got, stuff like that. They're already winning, man. We're not winning, but they are. That's all they care about, man. And so the discipline, the penalties and all that stuff, ain't nobody getting chastised. How you gonna chastise somebody make way more money than you? That motherfucker gonna look down at you. Be like, what? Who you talking to? Motherfucker, I'm your highest paid player. You can't talk to me like that. You get what I'm saying? So the culture in the world, even in the world and football, is trickled down into football now. When you start a job, they don't give you no big ass. When I started my new job, man, me and Cowboys Corner just got through talking about this on our personal phones. When I started this job, they gave me a signing bonus. Because of my experience, and all that shit. So they didn't give it all to me right off the bat though.
90 days.
They give it to you in increments. So you gotta earn it. You get what I'm saying? See, if the world was like that, if the NFL was like that, we'd be in it'd be a much better place for us Cowboy fans. If you just baby steps, give them their money, but just give it to them in increments. Let them earn it. Ain't one motherfucker, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, D-Law, they ain't earned shit to my standards. I don't know about anybody else's standards, but to my standards. And that's the problem in the NFL. But see, other teams, they ain't got Jerry Jones, so they want to win. They want to get out there. See, the Cowboys are like the Temptations. The Cowboys are like the Temptations. The Temptations, if you watch the movie Temptations, the one that came out in 1998, he said, we got to think of a name that everybody wants, but they can't have.
They can't have, yep.
They said, what about the Temptations? You get what I'm saying? Everybody want to be, part of the Cowboys and that culture and America's team and all blue, I bleed blue, and y'all get tattoos and all that shit. But look what we're getting. We can't get no Super Bowl. We can't get no playoff run. Wild card, and that's it. First round, that's it. That's to keep us tempted to keep coming back. Oh, well, we made it to the playoffs. Well, I'm proud. Jerry Jones. Well, I'm proud of my guys. We made it to be tried. We made it to the playoffs. You get what I'm saying? See, because if I don't want to be elementary, but we made it to the playoffs. Yeah, I'm proud of my boys. You get what I'm saying? See, that's all we get.
That's pretty good. Good.
That's all we get, and that's enough. That's enough to keep us coming back. I went to the store on last Saturday, as a matter of fact, and it was a Cowboy game that it was our first preseason game, I think. And all the Cowboy fans here, when it's game day, everybody wears their jerseys, T-shirts, hats, and stuff like that, and everybody dap each other. Oh, Cowboys, we're gonna win tonight. Yada yada yada. Strangers you ain't never met. That's just what they do here. You get what I'm saying? So, we all ready. We all ready to go. We ready to win. But then boom. That's just what we got, man. And I don't know how to fix it. There's no way. There's nothing we can do. And the sad part is there's nothing we can do about it. Maybe we just stop going to games or something like my dad used to say back in the day, and hit their pockets, and then they'll probably start acting right. I don't know.
So we got the Chargers and the Cowboys playing here at 9:00, 1980's favorite game time. here in 2 hours. So I'm gonna start with Space Cowboy. What are some things you're looking for in this game? Players, strategy, something. What are you looking for here? Are you hoping Dak Prescott gets some snaps in here? I don't know if there's reports if he's playing or not, but tell me what you're looking for here in this second preseason game.
So
Mahomes got some snaps. Dak need to get his ass out there.
I would save him for the third preseason game.
My bad.
Personally. No, you're good. So the 5 things that I'm looking for. First thing, and most importantly, the swing tackle performance. Josh Ball looked like trash last game, and you've still not gotten a veteran swing tackle.
Oh,
You better hope that him or Avante Collins does something, because if not, go sign someone. That's number 1. Number 2, the rookies in general, like whoever it is, just your rookies. Like, I want to see how these guys are doing. So Tyler Smith, all right, the 2 ticky-tacky penalties, okay. I'm not sure if he'll play today, but I do want to see some snaps there, if possible. Holbert, the problem with, like I said, evaluating the wide receivers is, like, if the quarterback play isn't good, then you're not going to get a good evaluation of your wide receivers. But I want to see Tolbert do well. Sam Williams, like all these guys, I want to see do better. I need to see that. Also including the wide receivers. I'm talking about other guys like Turpin, Houston, Vasher, whoever, or Fehoko, because you already are down 2 guys to start the season, so you need to see something from that. So I'm hoping. 4 is the young DBs, in particular, Bland, Nashawn Wright, and Kelvin Joseph. The thing is, the Cowboys' ego will not let them get rid of Kelvin Joseph because he's a second-round pick, right? However, the big thing that bothers me too is that if this guy's playing well and he continues to play well, you got to find a way to get him on the football field. We can't play this. Oh, well, you see, we're actually paying this guy more than him, so we can't get you on the field. No, you can't be doing that shit. You got to get one of these guys to figure out who's going to be where. Because you could figure DeRon Bland could possibly be better than Jordan Lewis, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But that can help your defense out. It can definitely help out there. The big thing Bland is one thing, but I'm more so looking at Wright, because when we took him, everyone was like, what the hell are we doing? This guy had a decent start, but he's trashed the rest of the game. Kelvin Joseph just looked terrible, right?
Oh.
And the reason these are important is because I feel like these guys could possibly be your Anthony Brown replacement, sure, because Anthony Brown's contract's done after the year. And if none of these young guys, Bland's more of a slot guy, but like if none of these guys are like showing up, you got a problem, because you're banking on these guys to be your future. And then finally, Will Grier. I get it, who we got already, but Will Grier, he's already number 2 without even playing a snap. But then again, he could play and he could throw 7 interceptions, look completely terrible. Now you're like, now what do I got to do? So Will Grier, I'm hoping he can do something, because I believe he's more talented than the rest of them. And if you're looking to have an offense that isn't going to get too far away from a Dak Prescott-led offense, he's your guy. But he has to show it. So that's what I'm looking for.
I like it.
Great points.
I'm gonna make this quick. This is my last time speaking. I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
For me, preseason, typical Cowboys fans that like to tell you calm down. They're watching the game for a score. Us, we watch the game to evaluate players. We watch the game and see what we have to look forward to. So with that being said, I'm just gonna watch the game and evaluate guys and just see what I like and hope I see something good that can be possible backups to starters. That's what I look for in the preseason. You know what I'm saying? That I watched the whole game. I look, okay, he did good. This guy did good. He could possibly be good if we need to put him out there. See, and this is my last thing I'm gonna say. The difference between us and winning teams, like the Rams, the year before the Rams won the Super Bowl, they was almost there. See, that's the difference between us and them. The Rams, they scout and they evaluate year-round, even through regular season. The Rams don't stop evaluating. The Rams will evaluate from game 1 to 17. Literally. And they did that the year before, and they're like, damn, we was almost there. We missing something. Cooper Kupp need help. Let's get Odell. Aaron Donald need help. Let's get the boy from Denver. They did that. They tweaked their defense. They tweaked their offense. They won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
The Cowboys don't evaluate year round. Once we get the team, that's it, y'all. Let's run these 17 down. Win, lose. Hey, let's do it, man. Good season. Let's come back next year. So for me, preseason, man, I'm just evaluating tonight. I'm just going to evaluate, look for things I like to look for on the defensive side of the ball. Hopefully, I can see some difference within Kellen Moore, and that's what I do. It's just not no single player, and I just evaluate as play by play, and as the game go on. That's pretty much what I'm looking for tonight. Field Quarter Cowboys. Y'all gotta get out of here. Twitter DJ Crown J, YouTube Field Quarter Cowboys. Salute the Space Cowboys. Salute the Dallas Cowboys fan 1980 Cowboys Corner, man. It was a good show, man. It was brought back memories on here, y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, guys. Peace.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Dallas Cowboy fan 1980, since we're, what you looking for, since this is your favorite game time right here at 9 o'clock?
Yes. If I don't fall asleep, poor Space Cowboy, 10 o'clock, man? Damn.
Yeah,
Is it 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't have work tomorrow, but I hope to God these players don't piss me off. So.
Oh, my God, man. I'm going to try. Like I say, these two guys, they already said it. They said everything that I wanted to say. Y'all know I like offensive line. I hope, what's the guard name? Smith? That we drafted?
Yeah,
Tyler Smith. I like him, man. It's something about him. I like his strength. I like his footwork. I like his dominance so far. I know he's probably going against second, third string guys, but I just like him. I like him. He's done out of everybody. He's done the best to me. There's a couple of more players I'm going to watch. Hopefully everybody gets better and learn from their mistakes. That's the key thing as a young rookie. Learning from your mistakes, watching your own film, watching yourself. That's what I used to do. I used to watch myself over and over and over again, working on footwork, working on coordination, things like that. Those are things. You're getting paid for this, guys. You're getting paid for this. You get what I'm saying? We're not doing this for free. You're not punching the clock, working 9 to 5. You're getting paid to do what you love to do. We got to get some discipline in this, the discipline culture back in the Dallas Cowboy country, nation, whatever you want to call it. That's the only way we're going to win. Our second streams, third streams, they kind of do matter, just like fifth quarter Cowboys and these guys have said. They matter because when that goes down, God forbid, if any of these guys go down, y'all watching how these guys play, and they're going to get plugged in. Guess who's going to come in? They're going to get plugged in, guys. So the Cooper Rush, don't know what the hell happened to him. He took about 2 or 3 steps back. He looked like a damn rookie out there last week. I don't understand. It's a discipline thing. If you don't have discipline, that's how you know it's discipline, not only with penalties, but with performance too. That word discipline goes a long way, not just penalties and mistakes, performance. Because you should be scared. When Jimmy Johnson was there, these guys heard me say this a million times. The guys with Michael Irvin say it best. They were scared to mess up. They were scared to make a mistake. If you're not scared to make a mistake, you're going to have problems. That's the bottom line. So if we see problems tonight, which we're probably going to see, if we see problems tonight, that means they're not scared. They're not scared to make a mistake. They don't have that authority figure in front of them putting their foot down. And that's the bottom line.
No, absolutely. Cowboy got a question here for the panel. What's your biggest fear for the upcoming Cowboy season? I think we can all agree that it's wide receiver is our biggest fear. We don't know what's going on with that. But what I'm watching for here is some type of consistency and improvement, right? 18 penalties. I don't care if we have 10. I don't care if we have 17. I don't want to see 18 again. If they have 10 penalties, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be top at 17. But if they have 10 or less, I'm going to be really happy. Because it's an improvement. I want to see Tyler Smith. Did he improve on his mistakes, right? And his penalties, right? So I want to be able to see that. Nashawn Wright, I want to see him. I want to see a major improvement in Nashawn Wright with getting beat every other fucking play, right? I want to see what Mike McCarthy has done. Now, all these joint practices and stuff, it's a field day for these Dallas Cowboys who are going to be in Frisco after the game to finish out training camp and get ready for the third preseason game, and then get into the Tampa Bay week. But I want to see some type of improvement all the way across the spectrum of this board. Dak Prescott isn't playing tonight. Carlos Holloway did confirm that, but I want to appreciate.
He's not playing.
He's not playing. Dak Prescott is not playing. I wish he was. I want to see these wide receivers get a chance. Space Cowboy brought up a good point about Will Greer, but then on the same flip side of that token, he did say he could go in there and stick it up, throw 7 hits, right?
Yeah, we don't know.
I want to see Dennis Houston, which I really number 3, who's really stepping up and getting all that done, right? So I don't know. I just want to see some improvements from what I seen last week because it was a team that was unprepared. It was a team that didn't know their elbows from assholes. So I'm hoping they say, this is my elbow and this is my asshole. I'm hoping they go in and understand the differences between the two. But no, guys, that's all I got. This is the Half Table Show. Space Cowboy Media, guys. If you ain't following Space Cowboy Media, definitely go check them out. Space, I do appreciate you wanting to come on to the Half Table Show. And then the GOAT himself, Dallas Cowboy fan, 1980, the Power Man himself, coming in here. He put a comment in there. He goes, "Don't have to go in there. This is a hot topic. We'll bring back the round table." And it did feel like the round table. It really did. So thank you guys. Thank you, Space. Thank you, 1980. And thank you, Fifth Quarter Cowboys, who's probably watching off stream right now. But anyways, guys, enjoy your game. Kickoff here in less than a couple of hours. Maybe I'll see you guys on the Twitter side, and then we can talk during the game on Twitter or something. But thank you guys.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
All right.